Welcome you all for the lecture series of Programming for Problem Solving. Myself, I am Kiran Kumar, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering of Vignan's Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, Vadlamudi. So dear students, we have discussed in previous session introduction about the functions. So today I am going to discuss about the concept of calling a function. So in this video, I am going to cover calling a function. So how we can call a function, how is it possible, what are the different ways to call a function, why we need this function calling, that we will discuss in the today's session. So I think all of you know about the function. In previous session we have already discussed a function is nothing but it is a set of or block of instructions that we can write within the body, and we can represent the identity of the function in the form of function name, and it will have some arguments in the brackets, and it takes the input in the form of arguments, and it will process the data within the body of it, and it will produce a required output in the form of return values. So every function will have a function definition and function body and also function return type. So these things we have already discussed in the today's session. So our concept here is function calling. Why we need this particular calling a function? If we represent only function definition, it will not be correct always. Why? Because for example you have defined add function. We have already discussed this one. Add int x int y, and we have declared int z here, and I am going to add two numbers and I am going to store the value into z, and if I want to return something, this particular z, you can return with the help of keyword return. So here I am returning z, the type is integer, that's why I have declared return type as integer. Okay, this is a small example of function add. Okay, so what is the functionality of this particular function? Addition of two integers. So okay, we have defined this particular function. What is the need for functionality? For example, if we take your mobile, if you take the mobile, there are so many functionalities are there in the mobile. We can make a call, we can chat, we can see videos, and we can listen the audio files. Every functionality will be there. If no one is used those functionalities, if mobile phone is invented, no one is using those functionalities, what is the need for defining the mobile, inventing the mobile? Okay, in the same way, if we take the television, we will use television in a regular way. So consider this is the television. If you take in television, so many background programs are already defined, so many logics is already defined in the motherboard, and it is already pre-programmed. So many functionalities are there in the television. I will tell you a small normal functionalities. Switch on the TV, it is a programmed. So it is also having some functionality. Consider this is a switch on the TV, it is a program, it is a function background designed to operate, to switch on the system. And another one is switch offing the television, it is another functionality. And if you want to change the channels, channel functionality, it is also defined, it is also programmed in background. And if you take volume, it is also another functionality, volume is also another functionality, and this thing also already defined. Consider these are all our functionalities. Okay, if you take the television, it is also having a motherboard, it is also having some background, you know, all smart TVs are came, everything is programmed behind it in background. Okay, if another function that consider user, if another function is not operated by another function or another user, these functionalities will have no use. For example, will TV is on automatically? Will TV volume will be increased automatically? Will channel will be changed automatically? No, somebody has to program it. Somebody has to call it, that functionality. For example, consider here user has to function any one of this functionality by using different place or by using different object. Here object is considered, this is a remote control. Remote control. So many options are, buttons are there, so many options are there. Consider this is on button. Consider this is off. Like that we have so many functionalities. Consider channel plus plus to change the channel, channel minus minus, volume plus and volume minus. Like that, like this, there are so many buttons are there to operate the television with the help of remote control. So when the user will click on particular functionality button on, the program related to on function will be processed. If the user is clicked off button, the program, the function that is connected with the particular button, that functionality will be executed. So if he click on volume, the processing statements, the statements related to volume functionality will be processed. So here what my point is, if you mention a function definition, it is not a complete function. You cannot perform the task. If you define the function, somebody has to operate, somebody has to program, somebody has to call that functionality, then only that function will be having, that function will perform a good task. Okay, like in our programming also, if you define any function, that is not a complete task to perform operation. You have to done the functionality, you have to execute that function, somebody has to call it. So function call is also very, very important in the functions concept. That is our concept today, calling a function. So why we need to call a function? In order to operate any functionality of any function, somebody has to call it. Here we will write number of functions in our programming. One function will call another function and one function will call another function. So many, you can call many number of functions also. So how we can call this particular function, sir? It is also based on the classification of functions. So you know, okay, so this particular calling a function will be based on the 4 types of functions. In the previous video we have already discussed the classification of functions. So for 2 minutes I will recollect those type of functions. The first one is, we know that no args, no return values. This is first type. And coming to next one, with args, no return values. This is another classification of function. And third one, with args, with return values. And fourth one, no args, with return values. So I told you these are the classification of functions. I will write here the definition of function. The first type is no args, no return values. The first one is, if you take, I told you func is the function. So this is the function definition. That means it doesn't have any arguments and also it doesn't return anything. So here you can write void. Okay, another type we discussed, friends, with arguments and no return values. So if you take func, it is having the arguments int x. I am taking here with arguments but no return values. This is another one. And if you take fourth type, as we have already discussed, with arguments with return values. What is that? If you take func int x, and here I am writing here return 13. This is one way. So this function will have arguments and also it is returning 13. And coming to no args, again I will write void here, but here I am going to return 3.56. Okay, so these are the four types. First one, no return values, no input and no output. And here we are having the input but no output. Okay, and here we are having the input and as well as output. And here we are having no input but we are returning 13. Okay, so these are the four types. So what our topic is, how we can call a function. The function call is also same as based on the classification of functions. For example, consider these type of functions you are handling, that is no arguments, no return values. When you call a function, if you want to call one particular function to any function, it will be called with the name of that particular function. Okay, so for example, these type of functions if you want to call, simply you can call with the name of the function. And when you are calling the function, you have to mention semicolon. Okay, so this is the function func we are calling. That means if you go for the definition of, if it is having any input, no, so that's why we are not mentioning any argument values. And also it is having any return values, no. So when you want to call the function, the type is no arguments and no return values, then you can simply call with the function name followed by semicolon. Okay, this is first type. And coming to second type, if the function will have the arguments but no return values, when you want to call those type of functions, how you have to write means func, you have to call with function name and you have to mention within the arguments. Here it is expecting what type of input. In definition what you mentioned, integer. So simply in this particular, when you calling this function, you have to pass an integer argument. Why? Because in this particular function, when you are calling, it is expecting the input of 10. When you have passed this particular 10, this 10 will be stored in the x. Okay, so when the function will have an argument, when you call that particular argument, the values of the particular argument will be passed based on the definition of the data type what you have specified in the function definition. So here I am calling this particular function. Whenever you are calling, in the definition of the function what type of argument you are mentioning, those type of value you have to place in the argument when you are calling the function. Okay, so this is is there any return values? No return values. That's why you have simply like this, and you have to follow semicolon. This is one type. And coming to the next one, this is the type of functions when you want to call. These type of functions have inputs and as well as output also. If you want to call these type of functions, first of all you have to mention the function name. And is there any input it is expecting? It is any arguments is having? Yes, it is having integer. So when you mention integer, so for example I am taking here 4 I have passed here. So whenever I have passed this particular input, it is also returning the same value. It is also returning some value. Then when it is returning some value, some variable has to be there to take that particular value. You have to mention this particular variable type based on the return type of the function. Okay, so here we are using z, that's why you have to mention integer. You have to mention the data type. So whenever a function is returning something, there must be a variable to access that particular information. So here I am taking the z is a variable. Here it is returning integer. That's why I have taken the variable also integer. Whenever your return type is integer, you have to mention that return type in the function definition. Again I am telling. So this is about with arguments with return values. Okay, so when you want to call these type of functions, that is where input is there and output also there. So whenever you want to call that particular function, you have to mention the function name and as well as whatever the argument you have mentioned, that argument values you have to pass into the calling function, this particular function. And is there any return values are there? Here it is returning 13. 13 means then it is then any function is returning something, there must be a variable to access that particular return values. So whatever the type of the return values are there, those type of variables also you have to mention. So here integer z I have taken. So this function is returning something, that's why I have mentioned the return type as integer. So here 13 is returning, that's why I mentioned value as return type as integer. Okay, hope you come here. So here same concept. So if you want to call this particular function, simply you can mention func and if there any arguments are there, no arguments, that means no need to pass any value here, but it will return some value. What type of value it is returning? Point, float value it is returning. So when you want to return float values, you have to mention the type and as well as variable name. Okay, so this is float z equal to, so float z equal to func, and if your return type is float, then you have to mention here also you have to mention what type of return type is there? Float. Okay, so this is about function calling based on 4 classifications. Again I am telling. Okay, so if no arguments, no return values, you simply call the function with the function name itself. If arguments are there, you have to pass which type of arguments by calling the function name along with arguments. No return types, you don't need to mention the return types here. Okay, whenever arguments and return values are there, you have to mention the arguments of type within the brackets, and also you have to mention the return type variables, and also you have to mention the return type of the function. Okay, so and in the same way, no arguments and with the return values. So this is about the function calling based on 4 types of classification. If you take any programming language, either C or C++, Java, .NET, whatever it may be, the function calling will be existing based on these 4 types of classification only. Okay, no argument, no return values, with argument, no return values, with argument, with return values, and no argument with return values. These are the 4 types of functions, and we can make a call to those functions. Okay, so next one. If you go for next concept, the function calling is also based on, before going to the next concept, I am going to define what we discussed in the points. So while calling a function, mainly there are 2 ways are there for calling a function. Okay, how many types of functions we call? That 4 types we have discussed to call a function. 4 types of functions are there, 4 ways are there to call a different types of functions, but mainly in which the arguments are passed to the function. So whenever we know what is an argument, sir, I told you. So these, if you take add, if you take add, this is int x, int y, if you take, these are called arguments, and within this is called body. Okay, you know that. So this is there are mainly 2 ways are there to call a function. So calling a function, there are 2 ways are there for calling a function. So one is call by value, another one is call by reference. Okay, so what is this call by value and what is this call by reference? While calling a function, there are 2 ways in which arguments can be passed to a function. So whenever I told you, whenever one function is calling to another function with the name of that particular function, there might be a chance for passing the arguments. So in that passing the arguments, there are 2 ways are there for passing the arguments from one function to another function. The first one is call by value, and second one is call by reference. The other names for this particular concept is sometimes they call as pass by value, and call by address is also called as pass by address. Okay, so these are the names. So what is call by value means, if one function is calling another function, the first function will pass the values to another function. as arguments. If the what is a call by address means, if function is calling another function, the function which is called, that will pass the arguments as addresses to the another function. So here we have to understand is, call by value means the values are passed from one function to another function when function call is made, that is call by value. And call by address is, the addresses are passed from one function to another function as arguments whenever a function call is made. So these are the main two types of call by value, two types of calling a function, that is call by value and call by address, and we will elaborate one by one what is call by value and what is call by address. Okay. So first of all, what is call by value? So I want to explain this particular call by value with the help of program swapping of two numbers. Okay. So for that, I am taking here, I am writing the program void main. I am taking two variables, int a equal to 10, b equal to 20. Okay. After that, whenever you have written these statements, this is called main function. The memory will be allocated to the main function. This is called, consider this is the memory frame for main function. So this is the memory frame for main function. So consider, so the variable a, whenever a memory is allotted to the main function, what we declared here we declared two variables, one is a and another one is the b. So the memory will be allocated for the two variables. So consider this is the memory allocation for a, and consider this is the memory allocation for b. So the memory address of a will be considered, it is 2048, the location, memory location address, and consider this is 4192. Okay, these are the memory addresses. So the variables will allocate the memory locations based on their addresses, and in that address what the value we have assigned to a, so 10 will be stored and b 20 will be stored. So this is the memory frame for a particular main function what we declared the variables a comma b. Okay. After that, consider this is the program of swapping of two numbers. I think all of you know what is a swapping. So here a equal to 10, b equal to 20. After this program written, what are the values of a and b has to come? A equal to 20 and b equal to 10 has to come. So they both has to be exchanged, swapping. Okay, this is my program, consider. Okay, so I am writing here printf. I am going to print the values of a comma b before swap. Before swapping, what are the values of a comma b? I want to print. That's why I am writing here %d /t, again %d comma a comma b. So this is the small statement I have written. Okay. So next I am going to call the function, that is swap. My function name is swap. Here what I am going to done is, here I am calling the function swap. So swap of function, whenever I am calling the function swap I am going to pass the arguments a comma b. Swap of a comma b. Here I am passing the a value and b value, this particular a value and b value to which function? Swap function. So this is called function call. So here the main function is calling which function? Swap function. Not only calling, it is calling and also passing the values of a comma b to which function? This particular swap function. This is called call by value. So whenever a function is calling another function by passing the values of the variables, that process is called as call by value. Here main function is calling the function swap function by passing the values of a comma b to the swap function. So whenever a function is called another function, first of all that function has to define in the program. So here I am going to define the function called swap here. So consider swap here. I am going to take two variables. Why? Because there are two values are passed from the main function. So in order to store those two values as input, I am defining here x comma y. Why I am defining only x comma y as integer? Why? Because the values are coming from the main function is data type of integers. In order to store that, in order to take that input, I am declaring here x comma y data types as integer. Sir, you had a doubt. Sir, here they have taken a comma b, here we are taking x comma y. Is there any possibility is there to take here also a comma b? You can take, no problem. Okay, so there is no rule is there. So this is one, main is the another function and swap is the another function. You can take here a comma b also. Whenever you have taken these variables are only related to this particular function, and these variables are only related to this particular function. We can say those variables as local variables. So please remember this point. Okay, so a comma b are local variables to the function, a main function, and x comma y are the local variables to the particular swap function. Okay, so whenever you have created a swap function, so what will be done? The memory will be allocated to swap function. Okay, the memory will be allocated to swap function. So in swap function, what we have declared in swap function, we have declared x comma y. So the memory will be allocated for x and as well as y also. Okay. Okay. So this is considered 6123 and this is considered 9168. These are the memory addresses of x comma y. So here x is the local variable to swap function and y is the local variable to swap function. Okay. Whenever a function call is made, these particular arguments, whenever a function call is made, these particular arguments will be passed to the second function which the function call is made. Okay. So here there is two technical words are there related to function call is made, that is called calling function and another one is called function. Called function. Okay. So again I am telling, so which function calls to another function, that is called calling function, and which function receives the call from another function, that is called called function. Okay. Here main function is calling the swap function. So here main is called as calling function and swap is called as called function. Okay. So you try to remember these two terms, very very important in the function call. Calling function, called function. Which function calls another function, that function is called calling function. Which function receives the call from another function, that is called called function. Okay. So whenever main function is calling swap function, it is passing the values of a comma b. That is the concept of call by value. Whenever a values are passed by the main function, swap function will receive that values and stores its local variables. So whenever a comma b values are passed, that will be stored into x comma y. So here a comma b values are stored in x comma y. So here the x value will become 10 and y value will become 20. Okay. So what happen? You have to understand here, this is very, very important. Whenever a function call is made, the arguments related to called function will be copied. The arguments of the calling function will be copied into arguments of the called function. That is the process of call by value. Okay. So after that, what I am written I am writing here the logic. Okay, so I am taking here temp variable int t, and I am going to store the value of x in t. So what will happen? The value of x will be copied into t. Consider whenever a particular another variable is taking. So here I am taking t. T is another variable. That thing also memory will be allocated. Consider this is 1024. So initially what value I am going to store? What is the x value? X value 10 will be copied into, will be assigned into t by using this statement. So the x value will be assigned to the t. T is a temporary variable. Consider. After that what I am written? X equal to y. So the value of y will be copied, will be assigned to variable x. So initially the x value will be erased and 20 will be stored. Okay. So whenever now the x value will become 20. After that what I have written? Y equals to t. So whenever if you are taking the value of y is copied into x, and after that what I have written? Y equals to t. So the value located in the t variable, that will be assigned to variable y. Okay. So here the 20 will be erased and 10 will be stored. Okay. So after that what I am going to write here? So if you observe, the values of x comma y is swapped. Okay. So whenever the processing statements have completed, for example, next statement what I am going to write here? Printf %d /t %d comma x comma y. If I write like this, the values swapped x comma y, that means x value is 20 and y value 10 will be displayed. Okay. After this statement is over, again the control, who called this particular function? Main function is called swap function. Swap function, the control will come here and it will take the variables, and it has done some processing logic here and swapped the x comma y values, and it is over. This function is over, completed. Again the control will go back to main function here. Here the control will come. Okay. Then here you can write printf. Again I want to write printf %d comma, here we had a problem whether I have to write here a comma b or whether I have to write here x comma y. For example, if you write a comma b here, what will happen? If you write a comma b, if you observe, the a comma b values are not swapped here. They have not swapped, they have not exchanged. So 10, 20 will be displayed, but that is not our program. It is a problem. For example, okay sir, instead of writing a comma b, here you can write x comma y. Why? Because they both are swapped. Is it possible to write the x comma y here in the main function? It is a question. It is a wrong. It is a syntactically, programmatically it is a wrong. Why? Because we cannot display the x comma y values in the main function. Why sir? Why means here x comma y will be the local variable to swap function. X comma y variables are local variables to the swap function, but you are accessing the x comma y values in the main function. Okay. The rule is the variables that are defined, that will be accessed within that particular function only. The variables cannot be accessed outside of the function. Okay. So then this is the problem of call by value. Okay. So now you understand what is a call by value. So whenever a function call is made, the values of the calling function, the values of the calling function will be copied and passed to the called function. And if you have, if the programming logic is done here, so this is the programming logic he is done here. So whatever the process you have done, that will be affected to with this particular swap function only. That cannot be reflected in the main function. Okay, so here we have the x comma y values are swapped. So you can print it here from this function. Here you will print the x comma values, the swapping values will be printed. But when you want to access this particular updated information in the calling function, it cannot be affected. That is a problem of call by value. So in order to rectify this problem is I want to access the updated information. Here the swapping information I want to access throughout the program. Is it not possible? It is not possible. Yes, to rectify this type of problem, they have introduced the concept of call by reference. Call by reference. Okay, so what you understand here, friends? So what is the problem here? Call by value. So call by value, whenever a calling function is called function, the arguments of the calling function will be copied to the called function, and the programming logic is also done and swapping is also done, but that swapping will not be affected by for the variables of main function. Here x comma y values are swapped, but a comma b values are not swapped. So whenever a call by value has done, there is no connection among the calling function and the called function. In order to maintain the relationship, in order to maintain the connection among the calling function and the called function, they have introduced the concept of call by reference. That is also called as pass by addresses. Okay, so the another name is also another terms also I want to mention in this call by value concept is, so which function is called, it is called as a calling function, and which function receives the call, it is called as called function, and the arguments of the calling function is called as actual arguments. What it is? Actual arguments. So the arguments that are passed from the calling function is called as actual arguments, and the function which receives the actual argument values and the arguments that are defined within the called function are called as formal arguments. Formal arguments. So here x comma y, so a comma b are called as actual arguments, and x comma y are called as formal arguments. Hope you understand what I am going to tell. So the variables, the arguments which are passed from the calling function are called as actual arguments, and the arguments which receives the values from the calling function and that are defined in the called function, those arguments and those parameters are called as formal arguments and formal parameters. Okay, so actual parameters and formal parameters in the bits he will definitely ask. Actual parameters are belongs to calling function, formal parameters are belongs to called function. Okay, so this is about call by value, and in order to rectify this particular problem, when we go for pass by addresses, you can see what is a pass by address. Okay, so same logic I am writing here, that is call by reference. Okay, so first I will write here main function, void main function. Okay, same logic I am taking here, int a equal to 10, b equal to 20, and printf before swap what are the values of a comma b, %d slash t, %d slash t, a comma b. After that I make a function call swap. So what is the call by address is, instead of passing the values from one function to another function, we are passing the addresses of that particular variables. For example, consider what is the memory allocation for the main function. Tell me, what is the memory allocation for the main function, friends? So here a memory will be allocated to a and memory will be allocated to B. Consider the memory addresses are 2143 and 3286. So here the value is 10 and the value is 20. Consider. So these are the addresses and these are the values located in the addresses. Okay. So instead of passing the values, here I am passing the addresses. So whenever you, in the previous example I passed the values. Now what we are passing? We are passing, instead of values, we are passing the addresses. Okay, here addresses of A consider 2143 and addresses of B consider 3286. Okay, so whenever you pass this particular addresses, you have to create, you have to write a swap function. Okay, so here I am writing the swap function. So in order to receive the addresses, okay, in order to receive the addresses, here the values are not coming from the function, the addresses are coming from the function. Okay, if you want to store the addresses, how we can store the addresses in the C programming language, friends? There is a concept is there. What is that? Pointers. Pointers. Okay, so there is only the variable, when we declare it as a pointer, then only the variable will handle the capability to store the addresses. Okay, that is a pointers concept. So if the incoming input is addresses, then you have to mention what type of variables in the called function, friends? Pointers. So in order to receive the values coming from the calling function, I am declaring here pointers. Pointers. This is the function definition of a called function, swap. Why I am not declaring x comma y here? Why? Because instead of passing the values, the main function is passing the addresses. So addresses are coming. In order to store the addresses, normal variables cannot handle the addresses. Then we have to declare pointers only. So here I am declaring the pointers. Whenever this statement has happened, what is the background memory will be allocated to the swap function? Here I am writing how the background memory will be allocated to swap function. Okay, so consider swap function. So what type of pointers I declared? X, and another one is y. So x will be declared memory location and y will be declared one memory location. Okay, so consider here address is 2123 and this is 3145. Okay, so this is considered. And what is the value of x here? The address of A, that is address of A is nothing but 2143 and address of B is nothing but 3286. Okay, okay. So whenever we have declared a pointers, the pointer will have the address of this particular A comma B. So x will have the address of A and B will have the address of B. Okay. So whenever these addresses are pointed to the address of A is pointed to the pointer X, address of B is pointed to the pointer Y, automatically this pointer is pointing to the location of this particular A. Okay. So if you want to change, if you want to swap, then how you can swap here? So I am taking here normal temporary variable t, and I want to store, here I will write the x value. What is the x value here? X value is nothing but address, but I don't want to pass the address. I have to swap the values. I have to swap the values. How we can swap the values? What is x? X is nothing but address. What is the address? 2143. Okay, what is the value in that particular address? 2143, what is the value? I want to swap this particular value. Then how we can get the value with the pointer? You have to mention indirection operator star. Okay, if you take normal variable, the address will be copied into t. I don't want to assign the address. I need the value located in that address. It will be done with the pointer only. Okay, that's why I am taking star x here. Star x means the value located in the address. Okay, the value located in the address of x. So what is the address of x here? 2143. 2143 value will be 10. Okay. So next, after that, I want to assign the value, the address of x. What is the address of x here? 2143. So in this 2143, what is the location here? This is the location. In that, I want to assign the value located by the y. So what is the y value? Y value will be, the address is 3286. So the value located in the address 3286, what is that? The value located in the address, what is that? 3286, what value? 20. 20 will be copied into which location? The address of location 2x means 2143. Location is this one. So this 20 will be replaced to this location. Don't get confused. Okay. What is the meaning of this? What is the y value? Y value is nothing but address of B. So what is the address of B here? 3286. What is star means? Star means indirection operator. So the value in that address. In that address, what is the value? 20. That 20 will be assigned to which place? X. X means the address of A. Here, this is the address. In this address, the location, the value. So here 20 will be copied into the location of 2143. Okay. Again, what we are going to done? Star y equal to t. T means what will happen? What is the current value of t? If you take t here, what is the current value of t? The value of x. X means this particular x value 10 will be copied to the temporary variable s. Okay, so 10 will be copied to which location? 10 will be copied to which location? The address of y. Address of y means indirectly address of B. This 3286, in this location it has to replace 20 with 10. Now what will happen? You can understand, observe, you can concentrately understand what is going on. Here we are doing the process. Here we are doing the process. Where we are doing? Here we are doing the process, but indirectly it is reflecting in the main function a comma b values. So whatever the logic process you have written in the called function, indirectly it is reflecting in the calling function also. But it is not possible in the previous concept, call by value. Okay. In call by reference, whatever the swapping you have done, that will be affected in the swapping function and as well as main function also. For example, if you want to print the values, how you can print? For example, here I am writing printf %d comma x comma y. If you write like this, what will happen? X value will be 20 and y value will 10 will be displayed. Okay. After this is over, again control go back to main function. What you have written here? Here you want to print printf after swap %d comma a comma b. Now what values will be printed? What is the a value now? It is 20 and b value is 10. So 20 and 10 will be displayed. Okay. So what will happen here, friends? If you made any change in the called function, swap is called as a called function. If you make any change in the called function, that will reflect in the calling function also. Okay. So there is a connection, there is a relationship is there from the calling function to the called function when there is a concept of call by reference. So I am going to tell you the basic difference between call by value and call by reference is in a single point you please concentrate. In call by value, only the values are copied, from calling function to the called function, and you have done any changes in the called function, that will not be reflect in the calling function. But coming to call by reference, instead of passing the values, we are going to pass the addresses. Okay, so why we have to done call by reference? I want to update, I want to get the updated information throughout the program in any place and in any function. But in call by value, if you done any modification in the called function, it is not reflecting in the calling function. That is the main problem. That's why we are going for the concept of call by reference, pass by address. So what is the purpose of call by reference? Instead of passing the values, you pass the addresses. So if you pass the addresses, when with the help of pointers, if we have done any changes into that particular location, that it automatically reflect in any function of the particular program. Okay, that's why if you swapped x comma y values, that is indirectly reflected with a comma b also. So indirectly x comma y is indirectly x comma y is reflecting a comma b. Why? Because x consists of address of a, y consists of address of b. Okay, so if you done any changes, it is indirectly handling which memory location? X is handling A's memory location, Y is handling B's memory location. If you have done any changes in the x comma y, automatically it will be changed to the a comma b also. So this is the concept of pass by reference and pass by addresses. Okay, so I am going to convey call by value is whenever a function call is made, the actual arguments of the calling function values will be passed to the formal arguments of the called function. Okay, next call by reference is whenever a function call is made between the function, the call by reference concept is the actual arguments of the calling function, that is addresses, will be passed to the formal arguments of the called function. Okay, so whenever a values are passed, that is call by value. Whenever a address are passed, that is passed by address. So in call by value, there is no connection among the calling function and the called function, but in the call by reference, there must be a relationship between the calling function and the called function. So this is about call by value and call by reference. So I am going to convey this particular example programs in the PPT itself. So you can see here. So whenever a calling function is there are two ways, call by value and call by reference. Calling a function is nothing but passing a values as arguments. Call by address is nothing but passing a address as an arguments. Okay. So this is a small example of call by value program. So here you can see here. So this is the swap program I have already taken. So this is, what is this called? This is called function prototype, that we have already discussed. Function prototype is nothing but same as function name, function definition, same as function definition, but at the end of this particular statement, you have to mention with the semicolon. That is the only difference. Okay, same as the function definition. Okay, so here main is called calling function and swap is called called function. So he can see here the logic what we have written for swapping of two values. Okay, so first of all I have taken two variables and I have read it, and before swapping I am printing a comma b values, and after that I make a call here. This is the function call, swap of a comma b. After that also whenever a function call is made, the control will go to the particular function. Okay, I have written here, this is the swap function. So these are the formal arguments of a swap function. So whenever a call is made, actual arguments are copied to formal arguments. So here a will be stored to x and b will be stored to y. Okay. After that I have written, I have declared t variable and x value will be stored to and y value will be stored to x. This is the logic I have written swap function. But there is a disadvantage is there, calling function cannot be affected. Okay. So for that purpose we are going for the, so if you can see here in the output, before swap a comma A will be 5 and B value will be 6, but after swap x values or y values are swapped. Why? Because it is a called function, but calling function cannot be affected. Why? Because both values are same only. This is the problem. Then we go for call by reference. So in call by reference, what we have done, same logic I have written here. In call by reference, instead of passing the values, we are passing here addresses. This is very, very important. Instead of passing values, here we are passing addresses. This is called call by reference. Okay. So before calling, what are the values of a comma b? No change. I think it is 5 6. Okay. So after that swap call will be made, and the actual arguments. So actual argument values, here value is nothing but addresses. So the actual addresses are passed to the called function, from calling function to the called function. So here swap function will take addresses. Whenever there are addresses are coming, normal variables cannot handle the addresses. That's why you have to mention pointers. So here address of A will be copied to x pointer, and address of B will be copied to y pointer. Sir, you had a doubt, sir, why we have to take integers only? If your input is integer data type, we have to take integer pointers only. But if your input is a character type, then you can take character pointer. Okay. So the pointer type will be based on the values of the type of the values. Okay. So this is that's why I have taken integers, and pointers I am taking, and t is another variable, and this is the value. What is the star x means? The value of address of x. Okay. So x will consist of indirectly address of a. Okay. So x will consist of so here value of x means indirectly x will consist of address of a. In that address, what is the value? In that address, what is the value? Okay. Again, y will consist of address of b. In that address, what is the value? Okay. After that, this is the logic we have written, swapping purpose. Here both values are swapped in the called function itself. After that, the control will go to the calling function. Again, whenever a change is made here, automatically the change will be made to the a comma b also in the calling function. Okay. That's why you can see the output here. Initially a comma b values are 5 comma 6, but after swap function, what will happen? X comma y values also, initially there is no change. After swapping, x comma y values also swapped, and the same way a and b values are also swapped. This is the only reason we are going for the concept of call by reference instead of call by value. Okay. So these are the main two ways for calling a function. One is calling a value, call by value, another one is call by reference, and is also called as pass by value and pass by address. Okay. So this is about calling function, and we go for the next concept, standard library functions. So there are some predefined library functions are there in our programming to activate the programming logic in an efficient way. The developers of C language, they have already predefined some library functions. So many library functions are there that in that process we are discussing some of the library functions in order to done the programming effectively. So every programming standard library function will done with the predefined symbol that is called hash, and with the keyword called include. So hash include will be the predirect statement in order to handle the standard library functions. Okay. So these functions are so many functions are there that we discussed some of the functions. Okay. So these are the some of the function. One is standard input output header file. The information related to input output operations are located in the standard library function called stdio.h, and character test related information files will be placed in the ctype.h header file, and string related predefined functions and their information will be placed in the string.h header file, and mathematical function, that means sine, cosine, square root, power, these type of functions, absolute, ceil, these type of mathematical functions are defined in the standard library function called math.h header file, and some utility Utility means I'm memory related functions, memory operations, memory related information files that will be stored in the header file called standard library header file. And coming to signal means when you are using some exceptional conditions, exceptions are came in order to activate those signals and those information files that will be stored in the header file called signal.h. And time related information, for example, if you want to write the programming instructions based on the date and the time, those type of information files will be placed in the header file called time.h. So these are all the different types of header files. If you want to activate these type of header files, there must be predirect to statement you have to mention before the header file name, that is called hash include in your program in order to activate the related information files located in that particular header files. Okay, so this is about standard library functions, and this is about overall what we discussed in the today video session, friends. So I am going to recollect, I am going to conclude what we have discussed in the today's session video is nothing but what is a function, how we can call a function, and how many ways are there for calling a function, and what are the standard library functions. Okay, so a function is nothing but it is a set of block of instructions that we can write that has an identity, and it will take the input as arguments and process the instructions and produces the required output in the form of return values. That is the definition of function. Okay, then what is a function call? If you want to call a function, there are 4 classifications are there for calling a function also based on the function types. Okay, but there are mainly 2 types of function calls are there, that is nothing but call by value and another one is call by reference. Call by value is nothing but whenever a function call is made, the values are passed, the values are copied from calling function to the called function, and if there any changes are there in the called function or in the calling function, they may not be reflected in the outside of the function. But this is the main problem in call by value. But coming to call by reference, instead of passing the values, we are going to pass the addresses from the calling function to the called function. Okay, whenever there is a change is done in the called function, there is a relationship between there in call by reference concept, where automatically it will be reflected in the calling function also. So calling function and called function will have a interconnection. If we done any change, it will automatically reflected. Okay, that is the main advantage of call by reference. So whenever an updated information is there, when we want to access throughout the program using functions, then we have to use the concept of pass by addresses. That is another second type. Okay, after that we have discussed what are the standard library predefined functions are there in the functions concept. So there are so many types are there, but we have discussed some type of header files, that is nothing but stdio standard input output, standard library stdlib, string.h, ctype.h, time.h. So these are the different types of header files that we have discussed in the concept of standard library functions. So if you want to activate these type of header files, standard library files in your program, you must use predirect to statement called as hash followed by the keyword include. So this is about the function calling and standard library functions, and hope you enjoyed this session, and thank you very much. If you had any queries, you can please contact me through my mail and mobile, and thank you friends, and have a nice day.